All right, everyone. Thank you again for joining us today. I'm going to go ahead and start today's presentation. Please know that we are recording this session. So for those who are not able to make it or anybody who may have to leave before we end today, we will be sending out a link to the recording to everybody who registered, and it will be in future emails from us as well. So today I want to introduce the key members of our staff that your incoming students will want to get to know when they start here with us at Lorain County JVS. Introducing our 4 school counselors, Eliza Dole, Joanne Gleason, Shannon Meadows, and Chris Wild. Each of these school counselors are assigned to a different school district in our area. You can see below. So wherever your student is currently enrolled, whether they are in Avon, if they are in Columbia, Wellington, Oberlin, Elyria, any of our 13 school districts, they are assigned a school counselor. And this individual will be their resource for the years that they are here with us at Lorain County JVS. Also on our staff, we have 2 social workers who are here and available to all of our students. Becky Nemeth and Kelly Wooten both do a phenomenal job working with our students. They are always here to help with any problems or concerns that your students may have. They'll talk more in depth about what exactly they offer, but they do have a lot of student support services available. So today's agenda, we're going to talk about how do you accept your spot at LCJVS. Make sure we do that first before you do anything else. You'll want to take care of that piece. We'll talk a little bit about graduation requirements for high school students. What does that look like, and what are the different pathways to make sure that they achieve their high school diploma after their 4 years in high school. We'll talk about high school credits, College Credit Plus. So there's some different opportunities and ways that they can achieve the coursework and curriculum that they need. We'll talk about how to schedule classes. That'll be an important piece you'll want to be familiar with when you're accepting your spot here at LCJVS. And lastly, we will talk more about the student support services that we offer here. If you have any questions during this presentation, please, we definitely want to hear from you. At the top of your screen, you should see a button that says Q&A, and in there you can type in your questions. So you do not have access to camera or audio, but we do ask that any questions, go ahead and type those in there. If it's something simple, I'll go ahead and address it in the chat box with you. Otherwise, we will actually read the questions out live, and our school counselors and social workers will be able to answer those for you. Okay, so the first piece, welcome. They made it. Your student is here. They've been accepted to Lorain County JVS. We are so excited to meet them and get started on a career tech education with them. The first step, accept your spot at Lorain County JVS. All of our accepted students should have received a packet in the mail from us. And on the top page of that packet was an individual link and code for the student to go online and accept their spot and say, yes, I want to come to Lorain County JVS, or no, I have changed my mind. So that is the most important piece. You want to secure your spot in the lab that the student has chosen. We want to make sure that we have you in the system and we get them started on the process. From that point forward, after you accept your spot, you'll be choosing classes, you'll move forward into some of the other pieces that we're going to cover today. If anybody has questions on how to accept their spot or is having difficulty with that, please let me know in the chat. Send me an email. You can respond back to the email I sent you with the link for today's meeting, and we will make sure we take care of you, okay? So for our first piece today, we are going to talk about graduation requirements, and our school counselor, Eliza Dole, will be covering that content.
Thanks, Heidi, and hi, everyone. Thanks for being here today. So I will be covering graduation requirements. For those of you who know, maybe don't know, graduation requirements in the state of Ohio have changed drastically throughout the past decade. If you have children who maybe graduated last year or within the past 5 years, their graduation requirements are totally different to what incoming freshmen in our current students have to do in order to graduate. So There are 3 steps in order to graduate in the state of Ohio. The first step is earning all of your credits, which Ms. Meadows is going to talk about in more detail in a few minutes. So students have to gain all their credits. After that, they have to hit what is called competency. So this is earning a passing score in the Ohio end of course exams in both Algebra 1 and English Language Arts 2. I'll be calling this ELA 2. And the state likes to see a score of 684 or higher on both of these exams. If your student is not a strong test taker, or for whatever reason they do not hit a 684 on Algebra 1 and or ELA 2, they will have the chance to retake those tests, lucky them, basically until their senior year, until they can hit a 684. If they do not hit a 684, and they've taken either the Algebra 1 and or the ELA 2 exam twice, the state puts in place something called alternative pathways for students. So this is just an alternative way to get your child graduated without the testing scores of Algebra 1 and ELA 2. So I'm not going to go into super detail about all of the pathways today because it can just get super confusing, but I just want to let everyone know that there are pathways to get their students graduated. One of those is career readiness. Another is CCP, which I know Mr. Wild is going to be talking about more generally in a few minutes as well. There's military enlistment, and there is getting proficient scores on their ACT or SAT. The pathway that we see the most at the JVS is going to be the career readiness option because we are a career tech high school. So if your child eventually goes down this pathway, they have options between web exams, earning a industry credential, earning the Ohio Means Jobs Readiness Seal. This probably is a whole bunch of gibberish to you all listening right now, but this is something that will make sense eventually to you. And this is a conversation that us counselors have with you and with your child from day one. So, Heidi, you can move on to readiness. Okay, so we have credits, we have hitting competency, and then we also have something called readiness. And this is the third step to earning a diploma in the state of Ohio. So you might, within the next 4 years or 2 years, whether your child is a freshman or a junior, might start hearing your kids talking about diploma seals or readiness seals. So these are basically seals that they need to earn for their diploma in order to graduate. All students need to earn at least 2 of these. There are 12 total. You can see the little buttons on the bottom of the screen here that kind of indicate all of the seals that are offered. 9 of them are Ohio State designed seals, and 3 of them, the fine and performing arts, the community service, and the student engagement seal. Those are all what we call locally defined seals. So these are all defined by each individual school district in the state of Ohio. So depending on your associate school, that is the qualifications for those specific seals, and your child needs to talk with their counselor to kind of see what the parameters of those seals are. They need to earn at least 2. They have all 4 years to earn 2. There are a plethora of different ways to earn these seals. So some of them they just earn through testing, so through the biology or the U.S. history or U.S. government and of course exams. Some might earn the technology seal through their lab at LCJVS. I know that our administration is working hard on making sure within the next few years that the technology seal will be available for all of our students here at the JVS. There's something called the Ohio Means Jobs Seal that I mentioned previously. This is a really attainable seal for all of our LCJVS students. It's basically just a rubric where 3 mentors sign off that they are professionals and able to demonstrate professional skills at work. I know this is a lot of information, so if anybody has any questions, please feel free to shoot that in the chat. But yes, there are 3 steps in order to graduate credits, competency, and readiness.
Great. Thank you so much, Eliza. I appreciate that. I don't see any questions right now in the chat, but if you have any along the way, feel free to enter those in. And now Shannon Meadows, one of our high school counselors, is going to talk about high school credits. Shannon, you're still muted. There you go.
All right, sorry about that. This is Shannon Meadows. I'm the school counselor who works with Oberlin, Amherst, and Midview students. Ms. Stoll went over the first two parts of graduation requirements, so that's competency and readiness. I'm going to finish that up by talking a little bit about high school credits. So the biggest takeaway that I want you guys to hear today is that your student will graduate from their associate schools. So no matter if they were at JVS from freshman to senior year, or just junior and senior year, or just senior year, their diploma is coming from their associate school. So what that means is that they have to meet the credit requirements set out by their associate school. So the state of Ohio outlines some things on the screen below for you. And then each associate school kind of plays off of that and has their own requirements. For instance, the state of Ohio says that every student in Ohio to graduate must earn at least 20 credits. Our associate schools range anywhere between 20 and 24 credits, which is one of the reasons why, as counselors, we are broken up by associate schools so that we can be the JVS experts on what requirements your child's associate school has. To graduate, every student has to have 4 years of English, 4 years of math, 3 years of science, 3 years of social studies, half credit of health, half credit of PE, and there is now a half credit of financial literacy requirement as well. Again, your student will need to be familiar with their associate schools' credit requirements so that they can meet those for graduation. In the event that your child takes a class and does not pass, they will need to recover that credit in order to meet their minimum requirements to graduate. So that could look like a couple different things through credit recovery. One online platform that we suggest is Trecca. So your student could do a credit recovery course 100% online. That is at the cost of the family. So it's important that you encourage your student to do their best in their current courses. And then another option would be that they can work with their associate school on their summer school options and recover the credit that way. But if they do fail one of their academics, that will need to be made up in order for them to graduate. I think that's about it about credits. Any questions? Again, chat box, Heidi will let me know.
Great. Thank you so much, Shannon. All right. Up next, high school counselor Chris Wild is going to talk about College Credit Plus.
Hello. All right. So College Credit Plus is it is a statewide initiative, and it is a dual credit program, a dual enrollment program. So what this means is that your student would be taking this course for high school and college credit. These are real college credits that the students are working on, and this can be a really advantageous program to take advantage of, especially if you know right now that your student is going to be a college-bound student. College Credit Plus is a really great way at no cost to the parent or student to be earning college credits while in high school. These credits that are for high school and college credit, they do come with some risk. Since you are enrolled as a College Credit Plus student, you will abide by the rules and regulations of whichever college or university you are participating in this program through. So it can add an additional challenge because you will be looking at not only the JVS schedule and timeline, but then also that of the colleges and the deadlines they have for very specific things, which if your child is participating, we will go into much more detail into that. So, in general, it's a great program, but it does come with some risks as well. And so it is important that this is not taken lightly. While your student can be earning college credits and moving ahead with that, um, if they fail the course and do not fulfill their portion of things, the cost for the course, the tuition, the books can come back onto the parents and students. Also, if your student takes courses and is unsuccessful in those college courses, it can have implications with their financial aid once they actually do get to the college age, or actually enroll as a full-time college student. So it is important that if your student is interested in this, that you are very confident that they are ready for college level work. There are steps that have to be followed in order to be part of the College Credit Plus program. You'll see the second bullet point in our presentation says that you must submit your letter of intent by April 1st. Obviously, I'm speaking to you today on April 12th. So if this is something that you are interested in for you or for your student, it'll be important for you to contact their associate school counselor as soon as possible and see if they are still able to get their letter of intent in and go through those things. Because in order for your student to participate, they have to let us know they want to, and then they must also qualify to take those courses. They must meet the college or university standards for admission. So this could be using their GPA, their college readiness scores based off of their an ACT or an SAT score, or for instance, with Lorain County Community College, they have the AccuPlacer placement tests that students can take in order to qualify for certain courses. You'll see the last bullet point in our presentation with the College Credit Plus says that the JVS has agreements with local colleges for specific courses and whatnot. We do offer in-person, a limited amount of in-person brick and mortar College Credit Plus courses right here on the campus, as well as many of our LC JVS programs have College Credit Plus options built into them, where students can choose to take their career tech course as a College Credit Plus course or strictly for high school credit, and that's a decision that you'll be able to make. So in general, College Credit Plus is a program that allows your student to earn both high school and college credit at the same time, as long as the student passes the course and is successful. There is no cost for the family for this. And it is a program that allows the student to make progress in college while still in high school. There are deadlines and a couple paperwork hoops to jump through. So it's important that you communicate with your associate school counselor as soon as possible. And of course, if there are any questions, you can put them in the chat box right now or contact us or your associate school counselor with these questions as soon as possible. So that is all I have, Ms. Clevenger.
Thank you so much, Chris. We did have one question come through. Just to confirm, are there any extra fees or any costs that a parent would need to think about related to College Credit Plus or any of our academic classes?
Not for College Credit Plus, not up front. There is no cost, no fees. As I said, if the student is not successful, if they fail the course, they can then be liable for the tuition and books. But there's no upfront fee. And for our academic courses, there also is no upfront fee. Our labs, the career tech programs, they do have fees associated with each program, and each one is different. So you'll want to speak to us on an individual basis to find out the cost for those programs your students are entering. But other than that, yes, no cost for CCP or our academic courses here at JVS.
Great. Thank you so much, Chris. And to clarify, if anyone had questions about the program specific fees, so that might look like a toolkit for cosmetology. That might look like tools for the maintenance program, things like that. Those items, students are able to keep those. And two, those can be paid off during the time that they are here. So you could actually go to our website, lcjvs.com, find our programs page, and on each of our individual program pages, we do have the current fees for those. Of course, you're always welcome to reach out to us at any time, and we can help answer any questions around that as well. All right, next up, our school counselor, Joanne Gleason, is going to talk about how to schedule those classes.
Hello, Heidi. Thank you very much. So in your letter that you received, your offer letter, there is a link or a scan QR code. So you're going to go to that link and you're going to choose 4 courses for most of the programs, except for ECE, which is early childhood, and cosmetology courses, because they will only require you to select 3 because there's a related component to that class. You must have your own transportation if you choose to select the late arrival or early dismissal. That could be a choice in if you are not taking a study hall or an extra class. To graduate, you must meet your associate school graduation requirements. So that's the time to meet with your counselor and make sure that you are signing up for health class or the financial literacy or anything else that you might have missed. Sometimes we can fit an extra class in, or we can guide you to take a credit recovery to make up a course that you might need. In the selection, you're going to use your student ID number for your passcode to sign up for the classes. If you get stuck and it's a course that you don't want to take, it'll say a no thank you. You will click on that and that will allow you to move to the next screen. So again, going back to the fact that you're going to need 4 full English credits, 4 full math credits, 3 science, 3 history, your health, PE, and financial literacy to make sure that you have all of your courses. That will be a time you might want to meet with your individual counselor to discuss your options. If you have any questions or, content that you want to talk about in the chat, please do so.
Okay, great. And Joanne, what if someone is having a hard time, they receive the packet in the mail, but they're just not really sure how to accept their spot or how to schedule those classes or any of the back to school registration paperwork? Who's the best person for them to reach out to help out with that?
So with using the link, I would believe that it would be Mr. Keller's office, but they could reach out to us individually. They would definitely need the QR code or their student ID to get started with that process. Okay. Individually assigned based on the program that you signed up for.
Right. Okay. Perfect. Thank you so much. All right, and now one of our social workers here at LCJVS, Becky Nemeth, is going to talk about the support services that we offer here on campus.
Hello, everybody. I am Becky Nemeth, and I'm the social worker that works with the 9th and 10th graders. We also have Kelly Wooten, and she works with the upperclassmen. Kelly and I both work with students, and we help provide academic, emotional, and social services to students. In addition, we make referrals and give information for mental health needs. At JVS, we have the following supportive services for our students and families. We have the Big Brothers, Big Sisters of Lorain County, and they have a program called Big Futures. That program is offered 2 days after school. They help with things like mentoring, tutoring, and positive socialization. They do provide transportation back to your students' home school. We have College Now of Greater Cleveland, and this service is for students who want to further their education after graduation. They help with the FAFSA process, and they help students with information on financial aid and scholarships. Lorain County Alcohol and Drug Abuse, and you'll hear us call that LACADA. They provide educational services to students and families on alcohol and substance concerns. And we also have Ohio Guidestone here. They provide counseling services at JVS for our students. Thank you and have a good day.
Thank you so much, Becky. I appreciate that. Again, if you have any questions, go ahead and enter those into the chat. I know we've had a few already about some different topics, so please keep them coming. We're here to help you today. All right, and Kelly Wooten, one of our other social workers here at LCJVS, is going to talk about community providers for student support services as well.
Thank you, Heidi. So there are a number of different services available in Lorain County for students who are dealing with mental health issues. The first I have here is Allied Behavioral Health Services. Some of the services they provide are individual therapy, stress management, behavioral disorders, and personality disorders. Next up, we have Applewood Centers. They provide services with school-based counseling, and they also help with they have a youth crisis program. Now, these places have a lot of different services. I'm just going to touch on a few for each. The Sherrick Center for Health and Wellness, their services are therapy and counseling. They have a crisis intervention team, and they also work with children and adolescents. The Far West Center, they have counseling and therapy. They also have mental health assessments. Next up, we have Pathways. Pathways helps people with family therapy. They deal with eating disorders, and they also help with LGBTQ issues. Next up is Psych and Psych. Some of the services they provide are stress management, bipolar disorder, and school-based problems. Next is Reach Behavioral Health. Some of the services they provide are services for mood disorders, PTSD and trauma, and behavioral issues. Last but not least, we have the Nord Center. They do have emergency services. They help with sexual assault issues and behavioral health for children and adolescents. If you have any questions about these organizations, you can always ask questions in the chat and we will be here to help answer those. Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much, Kelly. A lot of important organizations doing some really important work to help our students and our families in Lorain County. I would encourage everyone, if you are interested in working with any of these organizations, you can Google, visit their website, find contact information. If you need a little bit more help in that area, please reach out to us and we will be happy to connect you with the right people. All right, before we wrap up today, I want to have Joanne, if you could help us answer a question that came in the chat about scheduling classes. One of our parents, her student is attending a half day here at LCJVS. So math, English, and other academic classes will be taken at their associate school. Is there anything that that student needs to sign up for when they're talking about scheduling classes here at Lorain County JVS?
So as a junior in traditional programs, student would probably be starting around 11 o'clock, 10:30 in the morning. Or I mean, finishing up around 10:30, 11 o'clock in the morning with that lab. And so then their classes would need to be scheduled in the afternoon and they need to have their own transportation. Most of our districts do not provide a half-day bus back and forth.
Okay. And do you happen to know, anyone who's on this, off the top of your head, which of our school districts do offer a half-day bus for students? Not sure that I know the answer to that.
I do not know that. That would be an individual, probably conversation with the bus garage at their associate school.
And that can be kind of fluid depending on how many half-day students a district has. If they have several half-day students that year, they may offer a bus when they did not in previous years.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. If that did not answer your question, Linda, please add more to the chat. We'll be happy to make sure that we get that fully answered for you.
Heidi, can I jump in on that one real quick for
Please,
Linda?
please.
On that letter, your student will still need to go in and accept their acceptance. One of the first options for the course scheduling is, are you doing half day or full day? So you will select half day and the form will submit from there. So you'll be finished with just that one question.
I would also add that they need to meet with their school counselor at their associate school to make sure that they're getting their English, math, science, social studies, whatever the courses are that that district recommends for their junior year.
Great. Great advice. Thank you so much. Right. So as we wrap up here today, I want to remind everyone we do have another information session coming up Thursday, May 11th. This one is in the evening, and it will be with our high school principal, Tina Palto. She'll be talking about some more of the ins and outs of daily life here at Lorain County JVS, including expectations for attendance, uniforms, what happens if Elyria schools are closed for the day, but Lorain County JVS is not. What does that mean? Notifications that you would receive from the school and how you'll receive them, transportation, and any other questions you may have. So the link to sign up for that information session was in the original email, the welcome email in April that we sent out to everybody. I will include it in my follow-up email along with the recording to today's presentation as well. So I hope we see a lot of you and others there with us as well. If we have any other questions, scrolling through the chat, I think we were able to address everything that came through today. But if you have any other questions, please reach out to us. You can either email me directly, you can go ahead and call the school and ask to be sent to the principal's office, or you can email the principal's office directly at info@lcjvs.net. So I want to say thank you to our staff for joining us today. Welcome to our new families and our new students again. We are so excited to see you and to see their faces in August when they come back to join us for the year. So if you have any other questions at any time, please feel free to reach out. Otherwise, we will keep in touch and we will see you all soon. Thank you so much.